All right, guys. I guess we're back to we're gonna do another video here. I just did about a 10-minute video where I was ranting off about philosophy and law and all the things that I was doing as an update. Yesterday, I just came from the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia. My wife actually just graduated, and so she got her doctorate. She's now officially can be a professor. She's going to be looking for assistant professorships at a few different places. With that being said, I want to give you guys an update on what I'm doing. I found this cool website. It's called forgottenbooks.com. If you guys want to check that out, you have access to a lot of old books, 1800s, 1700s, 1800s, early 1800s, maybe even 1700s, 1900s. I like reading old books. They can be a little bit wordy sometimes, but I enjoy looking up these words because I feel that it brings a lot more intellectual stimulation. I downloaded this book here. It is called, the Introduction to the Study of Law. It's about a 58-page book. If I have the time, I'm going to try and get through this within the next hour or two. And I found that I actually really enjoy studying law. I really enjoy studying this information because I think that law is what codifies a culture's morality. And I think that if you can get people to agree on what's true and authentic and real and what's honorable for the group as a whole, then I think that we can make a positive difference in the world. But I believe that if there are certain powers that be who have a conspiratorial nature about themselves, and the definition of conspiracy is people who are working together for an unlawful purpose, an evil or unlawful purpose. I think that does exist out there, and I think that there are people who have a lot of power to do that. I think that most bad guys that people see are people who have come to the end of themselves, who are poor, who are wretched, who are miserable in their own, who have had their freedoms suppressed, who have experienced trauma from an institution or from just the perpetuation of family trauma. And I think that if we can understand the law and if we can get rid of our illiteracy of law, which I think is something that is perpetuated in the education system, which I think is personally a terrible affront to humanity, the public education system. I don't think that we learn. I think we learn exactly what they want us to learn. We learn how to obey, but we don't learn how to question. We learn how to be workers and doers, but not thinkers and understand what we're learning. The whole system is working together, okay? So anyways, all that to say, I think that if we can learn the law, and I think that this is where my passion, my heart comes from, because I want to empower people, nations, real self-empowerment. I want to empower people. I want to share truth and understanding with them. Even when I was in the church and the church system, I got to the point where the one thing that I was holding on to as I was studying the Bible was biblical law. I loved biblical law. I loved the application, the prophetic and spiritual significance of the scripture. But I believe that the Bible is a law book. I think that most Christians who profess to follow Christ don't know and obey the law. I think it's the same thing with police officers who don't know and understand the law, but they call themselves police and policy enforcers, and that they're enforcing law. You can't enforce law if you don't understand law. That's why you have people's rights being stripped away from them. That's why you have people whose rights have been infringed upon. Okay, and they have a license essentially to sin, and they have a license to do evil. Okay, that badge gives them the right to do. Okay, they believe that they have the power to force you to do whatever they demand you to do, and I don't think that's proper. I don't think that's right. That being said, I had a buddy of mine send me or say that I should take a look at this book here, a treaty on the law of domicile and national, quasi-national, and municipal, based mainly upon the decisions of the British and American courts, with illustrations from the Roman law and the modern continental authorities. So I have this book here. There are words that we use in our society, in our everyday life, that I don't think we understand where they come from or what their purpose is. I think we have to go back and we have to look at what was hidden from us. We have to look at what has been falsified. We have to look at what public officers have omitted from the transcript and what they have not told us. Find out what they haven't told us, and I think we'll find the gems for us to continue to be free, whatever that means. Freedom is a spiritual concept. I think law is a spiritual concept. Morality is a spiritual concept. I think that people want to be good and do good and to be creative and to flourish in their life. I think that they want at the core of their being to be happy just with being, but we get caught up in the cycles of believing that we have to do all of this stuff in order to exist, that we have to be worthy of existence, that we have to be worthy of love, worthy of adoration, worthy of whatever. I think that's absurd, but I think that it is a program that we all have to overcome. We have within ourselves the power of self-determination, which is the fundamental right of every single person to pursue their own economics, cultural, and social development. You have that. You possess that. You and I are also connected to an abundant source of life, love, truth, and understanding, in which we are not in need of anything if we can understand and believe that to be true. So, with all that being said, this is a book that I'm going to be digging into. This one also today, an introduction to the study of law, and then also a treatise on the law of domicile, national, and quasi-national, municipal. I know you guys have heard of this book before, the UCC Connection. It's a very good, really good book here. And then other than that, I'm waiting to hear back and waiting to get those receipts back before I can get into my passport. This is not my national passport, but I do have the forms filled out over here, my DS-11 form to turn in. And once I get that return receipt from the Secretary of State, showing that they have received my declaration of my political status, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run that by the office that does passports. I'm going to try and expedite it and hopefully get it to you guys to where it's clear and seen. With that being said, yeah, I think that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I'll keep you guys updated on the coupons. I sent those out on Friday. I'll keep you guys updated on everything else. I don't know if they're going to respond back to me, but I know that I sent those receipts. Man, it can be expensive. Sending out mail can be very expensive. That's one thing I did not really notice because I was just like, oh, I'm going to just do it. I want one all at once. But you do 5 of those and you want a return receipt for all of them, it's $60. I've had to pay a maximum of $60, $65, $63. So also, I think I'm going to try to go through the authentication of my birth certificate. So I talked about that in my last video, and I think that's important to do. So I'm going to probably do that. As I continue to learn about it, I'll put it up here and show you guys what I'm doing and when I'm going to send stuff in and how that's going to work. But I definitely want to authenticate my birth certificate. I think that's important in all of this. So yeah, other than that, all right, another 10-minute video. Hopefully this one goes through. Blessings to you guys and much peace to you. I hope that you guys are encouraged on your journey as I'm encouraged by you. We will, oh, by the way, also thank you guys, 1,000 followers. We made it to 1,000 followers in the last 3 months. I can now technically go live here on YouTube, so maybe we'll make a thing of that. Maybe we'll make a thing on maybe I've run mini podcasts before. I used to have a podcast. I might start a podcast up again. So if I were to do podcasts, what would you guys want to hear about? If I were to do a podcast, what would you guys want to hear about? I think there's so much that we could talk about. I think it'd be pretty incredible. So if I do, then I'll probably start that up. But for right now, I'm gonna stick with this video platform between here and YouTube. And man, let's keep growing. Let's keep learning. Many blessings to you guys. And I hope that you guys have an amazing day.